Welcome into tonight's broadcast with First Gear Network of the First Gear Racing Series Gen 6 Cup preseason race number 3 at Daytona Road Course. I'm Jason. I'll be in the booth for you this evening, and just want to thank you all for coming tonight and hanging out with us as we get ready to prepare for a 50-lap race tonight. Currently, we've got 24 minutes left of practice here, just coming to you live halfway through the session, just to give you some idea of what these cars are running here tonight. Everybody's kind of got on track here, and we've got a few more that are still joining in, so we should have a pretty exciting evening tonight of racing on this tough road course. Following along with the 24, Joshua O'Brien. Currently second on the charts with his best time of a 147.184. Kyle Heath, fastest on the track in the 13 car. He's at a 146.419. Got Theodore in the 45. Currently 7th best on the chart, the 154.58. George Buck's on track in the 28. He's currently riding 8th on the charts. His best lap is a 204.69. And we've got the one car, Robert Rushing, MD, Dr. Robbie, here to serve. He's run a fast lap of a 206.06. And sitting 9th on the charts currently. Got James Malloy here off track. A little wide in that corner, got a little spin. Back on track. Here he goes. It's a good looking Pepsi Max car, 92. Currently, I think, out on his first out lap here. Doesn't have a time registered yet, but we do have 10 cars in the field so far, with time for more to join, so we could have a bigger field tonight. Not certain how many are really going to make it for sure, as it's preseason, week 3, Daytona Road. Not everybody loves the road courses. 2 weeks from now, we will be opening up the season. That'll be at the Old Atlanta Oval, which will be fun and exciting, and all about managing tires and taking care of your car. Here, it's all about taking care of your car. Don't overbrake, don't underbrake, hit your marks. Try not to overdrive some of these corners. These cars are, I wouldn't say not built for road course racing, but they don't grip like a lot of the cars we do see a lot of road course racing, like in our GT3 series that we race on Wednesday nights, such like that. They're pretty heavy. Like the slide. So 92 makes it through turn 1. A little wide, but does carry the speed around that exit. James got to the infield okay. Carries around the oval side here. Onto the back stretch of the oval. There's the bus stop he's coming to. Got to really slow this car down, and it's a quick left in, back to right, right again. Kind of cut over that last little bit as you turn left. Just, yep, there he goes, right back up to the top. That's a good run here. That was a good exit. See what kind of time he gets as he comes around the oval 3 and 4 to the stripe. Puts him to P6 for his first registered lap time of a 152.14. Good lap for James. First lap on the track tonight. Looks like Travis Roberto is on track. He's currently P4, sitting at a 149.53. Ran some laps here earlier today, kind of get the feel for what these cars would feel like at this track. Just trying to feel them out, see if I'd have anything to talk about. The braking zones are super long for these cars. They're so heavy. It does take a little bit to get them slowed down. And the power these cars have, more power than grip when coming out of the corners and trying to accelerate. I'd say I think it was 5 or 6 laps I ran. It was kind of in the 149s. I think one of them was a high 148. But these guys, obviously, we've got a few between 13, 24, and 66. Those three have all gotten to the 147s, and then Kyle's gotten to the 146s, which is just stupid fast. Along here with Joshua O'Brien. He's come back out of the pits. Just trying to put down a little bit quicker lap time. Just trying to improve. He's catching the 0.28 of Travis. Jump in the car with him here for a lap. Let you guys see what it feels like from the driver's seat. Contact between the 24 and 0.28. Let's go back and see that from the outside.
I was looking loose.
Just a slight bump in the corner. The car's not loaded. Very easy for that contact to cause the car to want to get loose and spin out. Pull up the tower for you guys, showing that we do have 10 cars that have taken time on the track. We actually have 10 in the room still. All the way from a 146 for a fast lap for Kyle Heath, all the way down to Theodore in 10th with a 154.58. His first laps tonight in the 45 with First Gear Racing. New to the sim racing world with us here in iRacing, and great to have him with us, and already really close to a lot of cars in time. Cars on track pretty close here. No, we joined Theodore right when he's going off. Hairpin corner there, pretty tight. Got to really slow the car down and get it to rotate as he comes back on a track right in front of Travis in the 028. Sharp left here. It's a sweeping after you get it turned. You can kind of push out wide to get back on the oval, and he does. Big League Chew on the 45 this evening. He's just like, all right, Travis, you go, you go. Hey, Kyle, I see you typing there. Good to have you in here with us. So you get all that extra time. You don't have to practice the track because you're already so darn fast. Good lap, though. Great lap. We're coming to just under 13 minutes of practice left before we get to qualifying. Tonight's qualifying session stays the same as it does for our ovals and stuff in the Gen 6 series. It'll be a 10-minute session. 2 laps for each car can be made in that for time in that 10-minute window, and it's lone qualifying, so that way we don't have to have other cars impeding or interfering on lap times for others. So when we get to that point, I'll try to give you as much coverage as I can with multiple cars on track to keep you up to speed with how everything's going. Kyle's last lap was a 146.37, so that'll put him a little bit further up the charts. Best lap. Ticker here says a 3.7, but it shows on the scoreboard as a 3.6 on the tower. Josh O'Brien's got down to a 146.75. Trying to close the gap as the two of them have kind of pulled out here. Just a little bit of a gap. It's only, what, 0.6 of a second back to Todd Smith. I mean, it's a gap. It's not a huge gap, but it's we've got about a 2-second gap, it looks like, between Todd and Travis. Between third and fourth for fastest lap between those two. Tonight's really going to be about attacking the track, trying to find ways to get good corner entry, get the car to rotate, get on the throttle, and give it enough power to keep the speed and momentum going, but not to get the rear of the car loose, unhappy, uneasy. Tires are going to be a premium. Fuel runs, we're looking at somewhere around 20 laps you can run is the estimated range for these cars on a full tank of gas. With it being a 50-lap race and no yellows, no full course cautions, just slow that down. We're looking at a 2-stop event for fuel. Could change just based off of tires on when they want to pit, but most likely you'll see 2 green flag pit stops by all the leaders tonight, unless there's a real big tire drop off. And then we do have 3 sets of tires in the pit, so there could be a 3rd pit stop for tires, but most likely fuel will be the deciding factor on pit stops, but we'll see how it plays out. Strategies could definitely change between everybody for that. Kyle's really getting into turn one. Just driving it in there. Let's go catch up with Josh in P2. He's in the infield currently. 130 miles an hour through that quick left-hander, and then you got to slow way down for this right-hander. He's down to 45 miles an hour. And then easy on the throttle coming off. We got a little loose there. All the way back up to 110, 111, and then right back down into the 40s again for another sharp. And there he is. Rear end's getting loose. Oh no, it got too loose. Todd Smith on track. For a minute. The 66. Coming out of the oval, 3 and 4 section here of the oval onto the front stretch. Riding real high up near the wall, trying to gain as much speed and momentum as he can coming to the stripe. Oh, did he blink out on me there? Disappeared. That car just looks unhappy as Kyle tries to get the power down on it. Second gear, 100 miles an hour entering the bus stop, 85 exiting it, so pretty quick speed through there. Just hit the 6-minute mark left of practice. Robert Rushing MD. The MD, a beer drinking. Good to have Robbie back on track with us. Gains through the bus stop on his buddy Theodore. Again, Theodore's first event with First Gear Racing tonight. 45 Chevrolet. A little bit of bump drafting on the oval. See who breaks first coming into turn one here. Gonna start slowing down way back at the start-finish line almost. Get the car to slow down to make this turn. Both of them make it very clean. A little bit of looseness there from the one. Oh no, the 45 spins. the car gets uneasy over those curves and it gets real light. And if you've got a lot of throttle in it, or you try to, catch it with the wheel, it'll spin on you. One gets by without any contact and continues on, trying to get his lap time to be better than his 151.39, which is the lap he just ran, is his fastest lap. Puts him P6 on the board. Speaking of laps run or anything of that sort, at least on the tracker here, most laps run looks to be George Buck at 21 laps. Josh O'Brien is at 19 laps completed so far in this practice. Travis has run 17. Todd's run 14. Kyle's run 13 laps. So those 5 have run more than 10. And the rest are kind of around between 3 and 9 laps run. Just under 3 minutes left to practice before we get to qualifying. Alright, Josh is going to tow back to pits here. Right now his practice is ending up. The 45 of Theodore's the only one on track currently. Just got a minute and a half left of practice before we get to qualifying here tonight. Still 10 cars that are signed up and in the field for tonight's race. Got your favorites that have run some really good lap times in this practice session. Kyle Heath, Josh O'Brien, Todd Smith. Those top 3 super fast here. And then the rest of the pack really closer together than that, between 4th and 10th, all within a 5-second window on their best laps. But 4th, 5th, 6th, all within just a second and a half or so, just over a second and a half. But and then you have 7th and 8th within what, 3 tenths. Qualifying will be interesting to see how everybody puts their laps together and puts it down on track and see what they can do with just 2 laps. That's it. Car's going to have that 1 warm-up lap, that out lap, to get the tires up to temp and hopefully get it to where it's ready to go going into turn 1 for that first time lap. If you have a mistake then, it's going to be hard to really get 2 laps in for this session being 10 minutes long. So laps being just under 2 minutes. Going to have to come out on track early and get those laps made. Practice has concluded. And everybody resets back to pits. As we've gone into qualifying. Just for an idea, as qualifying gets started here, our race info for tonight. Ambient temperature 75 degrees, humidity's at 54%, clear skies with an 8-mile-an-hour wind tonight. Track length is 3.54 miles. Track temperatures just over 100 degrees at 102 currently. So definitely loss of traction. You know, the track temp, if it goes up any higher than that, if that temperature gets any higher, that's where grip really becomes an issue. The hotter and slicker the track gets. These guys have put down a good amount of laps in practice, so could help with grip overall because that'll carry over. But it's going to be very, very interesting. So we are going to get to the beginning of qualifying here as Joshua O'Brien is on track. First car that's going to hit the line here to start his lap is Mark. Travis, not too far behind him on his lap. Todd Smith, not too far behind there as well. And Theodore. Josh. Track, so that will hinder this lap because any off tracks make the lap time invalid. Any incident points that iRacing keeps track of for off tracks, contact, anything of that sort, losing control, spinning out, those will take that lap time and mark it invalid. So this is another warm-up lap for him if that happened. Looks like Mark just had the same issue. That could be lying to me, so we're going to go back and double check that real quick. I just want to make sure that my timing and scoring isn't playing games with me here. Oh, there it is. It did happen. All right, so that's another outlet for Mark. He's gonna have to make another out lap here as well. I mean, this is not gonna be a timed lap. Looks like Robert Rushing had the same issue. Kyle Heath on his out lap. So we got Travis and Joshua both set to make times here. Let's see what happens here. Travis with a 148.95. Joshua runs a 147.06, and he pulls it over and parks it. Todd Smith with a 149.04. He's going to run a second lap. Looks like Travis is as well. Theodore that lap did count for him. Okay, so the off track was invalid front on his note, so it tracked it as a 153.98. Puts him P4 currently. Oh no. Ah, good save. Now the tires are hot. Maybe a little flat spot. Yep, gets on the throttle and they say, not today, sir. That will put that lap invalid as Mark is trying to make this time lap for him work, his second lap. Just past the area where he went a little wide and got an off track on his first time lap. So now he's trying this one again. watching here on the timing and scoring. Travis is backstretch. Todd not too far behind him on the backstretch. We have Mark coming on the backstretch. We've got 3 to kind of look out for here as they make their last corner through the bus stop and back onto the oval and around to the start-finish line. So we'll follow with Travis here first. As this looks to be a pretty good lap. Survey says 149.52. Slower on that lap for him. Todd a 149.04. A little bit faster on his second lap. Mark got across the line on his second lap for a time of 154.8. Kyle Heath is the only one on track right now that hasn't had a time lap count. Kyle Heath to the top of the board with a 146.60. Man on a mission. That was just his first lap, folks. He can go out there and do more, possibly. He's giving it his best. Is Theodore trying to wrap up his second lap. Trying to come down to this backstretch bus stop. Quick chicane in, and then quick chicane back out. Oh no! The car says, not today again. Those tires are just worn out. That's 2 spin-outs on this lap for him. As he will stay P5 with his time from his first lap of a 153.98. Kyle gets super loose there out of the corner. Back onto the oval. That car just wants to drift up and gets real close to the wall. He might have kissed it. Wow, just bouncing through on those curbs through that bus stop. That was crazy by Kyle. Let's see if this lap's any faster than a 146.6. 146.51. 0.09 of a second faster. Great 2 laps by Kyle to put him on pole. And looks like nobody else is going to be attempting, most likely. As we've got just a minute left in qualifying, so that's going to put us where nobody else has time to make more time, it looks like. So Theodore staying on track. He has completed his 2 laps of qualifying. Now he's just getting more knowledge of the track and the car. Taking this extra time to stay on track and just make some laps. A lap, an extra lap here. Won't count towards this qualifying session, but gain that experience. Kind of be prepared for this race tonight. Overdrives the bus stop. Oh, gotta slow down to make the the tire barriers as he has parked it. Alright, so that is going to put us just gonna wait here as the session comes to an end here. There's our results. Kyle Heath on pole. Joshua O'Brien starting second. Travis Roberto third, Todd Smith fourth. We'll actually go ahead and we'll just go to the grid, and we will show that to you as we get lined up here. So Kyle Heath on pole, Josh O'Brien starting beside him on the front row. In the second row you have Travis in the 028 car and Todd Smith in the 66. Row 3 will have Theodore and Mark side by side. And then row 4 is going to have Trevor and George. And then you have 9th and 10th on that 5th row will be Robert Rushing, MD, Dr. Robbie, and James Malloy rounds out the field starting 10th. Update on the weather over on the right hand side. Looks like ambient temp stayed the same, track temp down to 90. Like everybody gridded up here except for excuse me, the 92 of James Malloy. Can appreciate everybody watching along with us here, and good luck to all the drivers. Let me know in the chat who you're rooting for tonight. And let's have some good, fun, clean racing here tonight with 50 laps scheduled here at the Daytona Road Course in the Gen 6 Cup cars. Guys are going to be getting the green flag here shortly.
Green flag.
And they're off. Oh no, Travis. Oh no, we've got lockups going into turn 1. We have damage. We have damage. Oh no, the 13 got ran into by the 45 pretty hard. Oh, the 33 is spinning out of that turn there. He's over in the grass. What a rough first couple of corners here for a couple of our drivers. Trevor's still on track though, trying to take care of them tires. They got hot and angry now, as we've got Joshua O'Brien in the lead. Totally surprised that Travis on that start was able to not have heavy contact and still came out P2. That was a heck of a slide he had going into that first corner there. Kyle, even with the damaged race car, you can see some damage in the rear bumper, left rear of that car, running third. You have Todd in P4. So Kyle makes it through the bus stop right on Travis's rear bumper and goes to the outside of him. Further back we have Mark and Robbie, so the 80 and the 1 battling it out here. And George not too far behind in the 28 car in 7th place. And a little bit further back is Theodore in the 45. And then Trevor. Looks like he has damage. Left front tire is yeah, I don't know how to say that, how he even made it back around. Hopefully he can slow up trying to get to pit road here, because that left front tire is not even touching the track. It's at an angle, it's cambered. That's going to be a fast repair for Trevor to get going here on the first lap of the race. Dang it. Go back up here to the front. Joshua O'Brien is leading. Looks like Robbie had an issue. Got off track. He's back on track right in front of the 45. These guys try to get down to speed. Get the car to turn and rotate. Not too much throttle off. Alright, so Robbie's back going. There's Mark up to 6th. George up 3 spots to 5th from where he started. Again, some others have had some trouble. Helped him get a couple more spots. Travis is down 1 spot from where he started now as he's fallen back to 4th. Todd's got by him for 3rd place. Kyle Heath back to 2nd and closing as he tries to catch Josh O'Brien here. Oh, Theodore. We have a crash for Theodore. We're going to go back, take a look at this. Comes around, the 1 is a little wide. Tries to get on the throttle, and it spins on him as he gets onto the banking. He's back going. Trevor Benz, P9. He's a little bit behind here because he had to make that pit stop and he had to most likely use that fast repair. It's the only way to get that when you have wheel damage like that, to get that fixed that fast. So just gave me a mark that Trevor's back off track again. Oh no, Trevor. Alright, back on track. Goes Trevor Benz. We're going to go back to this lead here. As this battle for front spot between these two, fastest 2, really 2 of the 3, and Todd's far back, but they're the fastest 3 in practice. Showed the speed in qualifying as well. Now here we go in the race, and even with the misfortune, Kyle Heath, who started on pole, is right on the back bumper of Joshua O'Brien in that 24 car, putting pressure on him, looking to get by. And he gets by him through the bus stop. Ooh, loose out of that bus stop was Kyle, just digging. Alright, so that's going to put Kyle Heath up to 1st. So Josh got a break on that turn 1 incident, got the lead, led the first 2 laps. Lap 3 goes to Kyle. See Josh driving it in deep. He's trying, locking up the tire. There's smoke. These guys have caught up to Theodore. Theodore had to go on pit road, make a stop. Road for a good bit there, just over a minute, so he's about to go a lap down. Looks like Trevor is in 9th and on pit road and out, possibly out of the race. I don't know if he's doing another stop. George Buck is on pit road. Looks like George is starting to roll maybe. Find this pit stall, or maybe get going here. Guys are having off tracks and craziness back here in the pack. Mark Owlett and Robbie Rushing just had off tracks. A little excitement. Kyle, Josh 1-2, Todd in 3rd, Travis 4th. Top 4. Looks like while we were watching these guys, the 45 towed to pits. Don't know if he had another off track. It got damage. It didn't give me any listing for damage, but the 45 is on pit road, along with the 33 still on pit road. And George Buck back on track. 1 lap down. He's in 7th place. Kyle Heath leads. Joshua O'Brien in the 24s in 2nd. There's Todd Smith in 3rd. Behind him, Travis Roberto in the 028 running 4th. Robbie Rushing, Dr. Rushing, running 5th place. He's up 4 spots from where he started the race. Gained some spots with others' troubles and misfortune, and he's trying to keep it on track and make laps. Doing a good job. Same for Mark. He started 6th, he's running 6th, so no gain loss so far. Here's we're on lap 6 of 50. Something happened with Todd. Go back and take a look here. Over the curb, spun it out, hot tires, in the grass, and towed to pits. A tow here is forever, so I am shocked he did that. That is detrimental to trying to stay on the lead lap, because the tow time at this track is probably around 4 minutes. Is pulled out just over a 3-second gap currently over the 24 of Joshua O'Brien. Looks like Travis is about 9 seconds back of the lead. The front 3 still within 10-second gap of each other. A lot of laps to go. We're just completing lap 6 here, folks, and we've had a lot of action already as these guys have kind of sprawled out around track. You can see on the track map here on the right-hand side, everybody is spread out except those top 3 are the closest to each other, really. It looks like the 45 has come back on track. Still waiting to see. They're still towing Todd, I believe. So the 45 still back on track now. He has scored 1 lap down, but he's just in front of Kyle. So he could go back another lap down here if he falls back to the grasp of Kyle, as Kyle's running some really good lap times to start this race. His last lap was only a 1:49.6, but that's 6 laps in. These tires are wearing quick. The grip level that these tires have after just a handful of laps is way different than what they are when they're fresh and new and up to temp. So we're going to see these lap times drop off as the race goes on, as these runs, and then obviously with a couple pit stops coming for everybody, this should see the speed come back up on those new runs with fresh tires and a full tank of gas, and we'll see them wear down again. We'll see who manages them the best. Managing these tires is going to take a lot, and staying out of trouble. You know, no mistakes. Limit the mistakes. Don't get caught up in something of your own doing or somebody else's. Kyle just ran a 1:49.7 that lap. And Josh in second, ran a 151.3, so second and a half faster that lap Kyle was than Josh. So he's fallen back to just over 5 seconds behind Kyle for first. As Travis is another 6 seconds back in third. And then we've got Robbie rushing up to fourth with the misfortune that, oh no, Robbie. As soon as I go to talk about you, you had to go and wreck. That's not allowed. Let's see what happens to him through the bus stop here. A little bit of curve, a little bit of throttle, tries to get it back around. Just grass, locks it up. Oh no, right front hard into the wall. He tried to get it to turn. Ah, dang it, buddy. Hope that front end is okay. That right front took a pretty hard hit. As he's still running fourth place. As Mark is coming down pit road, this is a pit stop. I don't know if this is scheduled or not. Kind of early. Camera angles anger me with this system. I had to go farther away to see his pits. Looks like no tires. Maybe damage repair. There he goes back and away he goes. So it was a 20-second pit stop for Mark. He's still running fifth. George is up to sixth now. One lap down. As Mark comes out, I assume we're going to see Kyle. Yep, right behind him is Kyle. So Mark's on the tail end of the lead lap here, and Theodore just crashed. Oh, tough first race for him with us. I really was hoping that he'd have some better luck here, because I'm not certain. I'm going to rewind this. He just slows down. Oh, shift wrong. Blew the motor. Oh, dang it, man. Dang it. Alright, as we see, Kyle has gotten by Mark. Put Mark a lap down, so that leaves us 4 cars on the lead lap. And we are on lap 9 of 50. As this is Kyle, Josh, and Travis are our top 3. Robbie Rushing is in 4th. And those are our cars that are still on the lead lap, as Mark has just gone a lap down, and he's in 5th place. George Buck is in 6th. Todd Smith is in 7th. Not seeing any speed or timing for Todd. I assume that he towed to pits and probably called it a night. So that's going to put Todd. Theodore got sent to pits. Trevor. Yeah, I'm pretty certain Todd and Trevor have called it a night, and James Malloy did not even start the race. So currently it's going to leave us 6 cars on track, and if Theodore already uses fast repair, that motor blown will pick him out of the event most likely. Last lap time, Kyle ran a 151.5, Josh ran a 151.29, so a little bit faster for Josh this lap. He's kind of equalized out with Kyle on lap times to where he stayed right around that 5-second mark, and same for Travis. He in third. He's stayed around that 11-second gap the past couple laps. So these guys are running much closer laps. Travis's last lap was actually a 150.7, so he gained almost a second on these guys. So as these tires are wearing, maybe Kyle's just being a little extra cautious, just being a little extra careful with it. I know he had to get by Mark, make sure that he ran a careful, safe line to not have any contact. But we'll see kind of how this lap comes out, and see if they have the same thing, same time. See if that gap is closer. Stays right around 5 for Josh. Just under 11 for Travis, so they've definitely gained time on this lap as well. Going to the bus stop with Kyle. Looks like Robbie had to get towed. Looks like he had an issue here. We're just going to catch up with it going into turn 1. Oh, that right front tire gave out, and he put it in the wall. No, no, stop car, and oh. Says he jumps to pits, so I don't know. Looks like he probably found out in this corner that it just doesn't want to turn. Wow, he goes actually go. Oh, there it is. Oh, dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Okay, so Robbie's on pit road. He was running P4. Tough track. It's on the preseason though. We don't, the challenge is fun, but this would be a tough points race with these cars on this track. Except for these guys. Kyle, P1. O'Brien, the 24 car, he's gained a little bit of time. He's under 5 seconds, or right at 5 seconds here on the gap. Travis hanging right around 11 seconds gap. So these top 3, barring any major issues or mishaps, are the 3 most likely to battle it out. They've shown the speed all practice through qualifying. Kyle has got that gap where it's probably comfortable. No reason to push any harder. These tires are probably saying no, don't push any harder anyways. Because all it takes is one mistake, one little slip up on throttle, and that car can get uneasy, and if you don't catch it, you're in the wall or spun out down in the grass. So right there, looks like Robbie did get back off pit road. He got serviced. That's going to put Robbie in 6th currently. He is still just 1 lap down after that incident and towed to pits. So he is running 6th behind George Buck. I'd say roughly a half a lap behind George, as George just crossed the start-finish line. Mark's not too far ahead of George. 2/10 of a lap here, quarter of a lap. As the 4th, 5th, and 6th all 1 lap down. His 1st, 2nd, 3rd on the lead lap, all within now 13.5 seconds. As Travis is starting to fall back a little bit away from Kyle on the timing and scoring here. Same with Josh. So it looks like Kyle said, "All right, boys, I see ya. Let me put it to it and run just a little bit more solid lap time." And last lap, it was 0.4 of a second. He was faster than Josh, and he was just over a second, 1.3 seconds faster than Travis that last lap. So starting to pull it back out a little bit as we are on lap 12 of 50 here at Daytona Road Course. Only 12 laps. We're on the 12th lap, and we've had a lot of action. A lot of damaged race cars early on, and a lot of upset drivers that are taking their cars to the pit road and most likely not coming back out. As it looks like Robbie is back on pit road. Right, Mark here. So right now, currently top 5 are on track. Yeah, all the other guys have gone to pit road and most likely called it a night. It looks like nobody's coming back out currently. now we're getting on closer to lap 15, 16. I feel like since this is a 50 lap race, if you split it into thirds, I mean lap 16, 17, somewhere in there, most likely will be the pit window for these guys to split it up into 3 even tire runs, as we're just a few laps away from possibly seeing some pit stops. Looks like max run, like I was saying earlier, fuel run looks to be right around 20 laps for a full tank of gas. But to split this up to where you can kind of get the best out of the tires for all 3 pit services, pit runs, most likely we'll see him pitting here in the next 3 laps or so. As Kyle is up to a 6-second lead over Josh. Josh has got 8 seconds over Travis. Josh lost some time there. As he's losing time to Kyle and losing time to Travis behind him, so one's pulling away and one's gaining. See if Josh can get it back on board here. Looks like Robbie came back out, tried it again, and kept leaving it entering pits. I don't know if he's having an issue, but I don't think it's working for him on getting his car fixed. George Buck still on track, running 5th. Still just 1 lap down. In line to get a top 5 tonight. Looks like he's roughly 22 seconds behind Mark. They're both 1 lap down. Looks like Mark has gained a little bit here on his time on George. And then now it looks like currently, oh, George off track. A little wide in that corner, gonna give some time back to Mark here, and Mark's gonna pull out to about 25, 26 second gap on George. Travis is back to gaining. Not by much, but his gain on Josh, he's down to just under 6-second gap to Josh in second. So you can see him out there in the distance. Just wonder which one of these guys is going to be the first. Does somebody try to pit maybe a lap earlier than the other guys? 1 extra lap around here at this pace that they're running now, 152s, 153s, Travis ran a 151. We know these cars can do more on fresh tires. 147.7 is the best lap of the race that Kyle ran earlier on fresh tires. So we've got a 5-6 second drop off by most of these guys. So if you pit 1 lap earlier than the other guy, you gain some time, but then you might lose it on the back end when the guy finally pits and has fresher tires than you. So the undercut, the overcut, as they say. We're going to see if any of that gets played out here in this run. Just got a report. Looks like Mark is going to be the first one of our top 5. There's 5 on the track here. to go on pit road. Now, he's already made a stop earlier. Didn't look like it was for tires. We'll see what happens on this stop. George flies by on track. That's for position. George will take fourth from Mark as Mark's on pit road getting serviced. So as Mark has made his second stop of the race, that'll put him back to fifth. And Kyle is on lap 16. So this is where that window opens between 16 and 20. Where are we going to see these pit stops? Who's going to pit first among these top three? As the intervals at the top of the screen, Josh O'Brien's down to almost a 10-second gap behind Kyle Heath now. He's fallen back a good bit at the end of this run. Travis has fallen back as well to 17 seconds behind. So Kyle passes pit road, says, nope, we're going to at least do another round. Josh says, no, that I gotta pit this time. So as he comes down pit road, trying to find a camera shot that's gonna work better for pit stops here. So we'll probably just do the chase. Be able to pay attention to how fast this pit stop goes. Get an idea for how long it takes to get 4 tires and a full tank of fuel as he hits his marks on the dot. Right side of the car goes up, back down, they run around to the left side, gets that up, and down, and out. 15.67 on the stopwatch for that pit stop by the 24 car. George
Good evening, Jason.
Going another lap. Hey, it's DB. Good evening, buddy.
Good evening. How are you, brother?
Good. Good to have you in the booth here.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you doing this evening? Everything going smooth?
Everything is all good. Was able to
Awesome,
spend some
man.
time with the family, and I figured since it's hard to get in the top 3 in this league, I might as well join to get in the booth so I can get a little bit of airtime. No,
Hey
I'm just
man,
kidding.
whatever it takes sometimes. I tell you what, top 3 would be hard tonight, but top 4 is reasonable. We only have 3 cars on the lead lap so far after just a handful of laps tonight. It's pretty rough at Daytona Road Course though, so it's good to have you in the booth with us. Sorry you couldn't be on track, but good to have you up here with us, man.
I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. And Jason, this league is absolutely amazing, and what you are building and allowing us to help you with is such a family. We have created so many great friendships in this league, and not only that, but also hard racing. A lot of respect in the league, and I really love to be a part of this league, whether it's in the if it's in the booth, or on the track, or even just encouraging someone else. So I really appreciate you and all the members of FGR for this wonderful league that is going on.
Well, we appreciate you, man. You're an integral part of the fabric of this league and this group, and as we say, you're part of the family, right? This is more of a family atmosphere, and it's good to have you with us week in and week out. You've been here from the beginning, and it's great to have you here in the booth tonight and get to chat it up. So appreciate it, brother. Love you.
Love you too. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we just saw a pit stop from Travis. So he pitted on lap 17, a lap later than Josh. Josh has gotten buyback for second, as Kyle has stayed out on his original set of tires. So he's running this all the way through. He's like, I'm in the lead, no reason to pit early. He's going to try to get all he can out of these tires here on lap 18. So we'll see if he pits over the next couple laps. As a fuel run again, folks, is no more than 20 laps. So we should see Kyle down pit road the next 2 or 3 passes for sure. Following along through 3 and 4 of the oval here. See if he makes that dive down pit road this time. Nope, still going. He's going to go another lap, so we're going to get an updated timing and scoring here. Again, the gaps are a little bit skewed because Kyle hasn't hit pit road yet, but he is losing time to Josh. Josh pitted 2 laps ago. is out on fresh tires, 45 seconds behind currently. And then Travis is on his first out lap since pitting. He's roughly 15 seconds behind Josh, about a minute behind Kyle. And then we have the battle for fourth, and that's between George and Mark. They have both made their pit stops, and currently George is ahead of Mark. Looks like Mark had another off track and is getting back up to speed, so possibly another spin out for Mark. Doesn't look like any damage. We'll go back to replay here and take a look and see what happened.
Yeah, road course racing is such a technical skill, and if you go into a corner too hot, you're not going to make it through, or if you come in a bad angle, you're also not going to make it through. And you know, the key is pushing it to that edge on that line without overstepping that boundary.
Yeah, agreed. And it's super tricky at this track with these cars. The throttle response with how much power these cars have, it's been real easy to see guys just a little bit too much throttle and the car get excited and get loose on them. Want to come around, or you break traction and you got to let off and save it, but you give up a lot of time if you just cross that line just a little too much.
That's right. A lot of these tracks, not only just in the rovals or road courses, but even on some of the other tracks, throttle control, throttle control, throttle control sometimes is more important than your steering input.
Totally agreed. You can't say it enough. Throttle control. That's why we got DB up in the booth tonight. He's going to keep saying that because that is the most important. And right now we're seeing Kyle using throttle control on what's going on 20 level tires. He is elected not pit yet. 19 and 20. And this is the fuel run for these cars. So he may be saving some fuel too, so I don't know if he'd go another lap, but he's taking this original set of tires from the start of the race as long as he can, and he's given up about 3 seconds to Josh in this last lap. So Josh just ran the fastest lap of the race, a 147.33 his last time by, and now he just crossed the line again for a 148.19, so still gained 2 seconds on Kyle. So it's basically a 5-second gap made up in 2 laps on these fresh tires that Josh has already taken that Kyle hasn't had to take yet. So when this pit stop happens, he may come out pretty close to Josh, but Kyle's going to have much better tires because Josh is using all the feel goods off of them right now.
That's right. And I've been watching Kyle over the last couple laps. I've been watching his corner entries and exits. He's been backing up the corners, rolling through. It doesn't matter which corner. He's just rolling through, and he's slow to get back on the gas. You know, obviously that's with tire wear, but it's also saving fuel for him so he can get these longer runs. And you're absolutely right, Jason. He's going to have fresh tires, much fresher tires when he comes out of that pit stop.
And here he comes to complete lap 20 and still not pitting. So here we go. He's extending this fuel run longer based off of how he's been driving this car, and he's still been the fastest overall. Lap 1 had some contact. He has a dent in the rear bumper of the car. Had a couple cars overdrive going into turn 1 at the start of the race. Had some contact. Lost the lead and took him only a couple laps to get back from third to first, and he's led since lap 3 on. That's how dominant he has been showing this field tonight. Kyle is super fast everywhere we go. He's very good about taking care of his stuff, no matter if it's an oval or a road course or what car we're in. So that's one of the things that, and he's been trying to help all of us, and he has been very open about things he's been doing to try to help all of us become better drivers in this series and in the other stuff we run. So shout out to Kyle for being so experienced and knowledgeable, but willing to actually spread that out, because a lot of drivers are kind of like, hey, that's my advantage, I don't want to give that up. But Kyle's been super open and helpful, and we're seeing it on track tonight, as we do usually every week with him. He's able to manage his stuff better than everybody else and not have to overdrive the car. He really manages the car and still makes really good lap times. So it's frustrating sometimes when you feel so fast, and then you look and you see Kyle still pulling away. It's like, oh well, I haven't figured it out yet. Still gotta go back to school.
100%. I've been watching Josh over the last couple laps here, because I'm very intrigued on how he wanted to play this. Was he going to play it soft and not wear off those feel goods so fast, or does he see Kyle? He's gaining on Kyle because of the freshies, but does he realize that when Kyle does pit, Kyle's going to have the freshies? So is he trying to save on those tires, or is he pushing it to the max? And what I'm seeing from Josh is he's really, really being aggressive into these corners. He's really going after it.
Yeah, he has been to where Kyle just is entering his pit box here, taking his pit stop on lap 21, starting lap 22. So he got an extra lap of fuel for sure out of the car, and
Yep.
he was pulling away from Josh a little bit while doing that. So he is exiting his pit stall and leaving pit road now. We have Josh just getting ready to hit the start-finish line. So he is still going to have a gap on Josh, as Josh was about 10 seconds back when he pitted. So we'll see what the gain is on this, as Kyle is coming off pit road exit and back on the track. And
Yep.
it has Josh at just under 6 seconds, 5.5 seconds. So he made up 4.5 seconds by pitting, 3 laps? 4 laps earlier, actually. 5. My apologies. Josh's pit lap was lap 16, and in 5 laps made up 5 seconds on Kyle. But now he's got 5 lap older tires, so now we're going to see that gap probably spread out a little bit faster. With the way Kyle drives, he doesn't overdrive the car so much, so we'll see if he just manages it or if he extends that gap by pushing just a little bit. But even then, it's not really pushing when he's able to run so long on one set of tires. He's really managing his equipment really well.
Right. And let's see what Travis has for Josh. I mean, Travis right now he's about to approach, I believe that's him. He's about to approach the Roval part and see if he can hug that line and see what he can do.
So currently timing and scoring shows us that Travis is about 17, 18 seconds behind Josh currently. Still a comfortable lead over 4th place George Buck. George is up to 4th currently, and looks like Mark just made another pit stop here. So that's the 3rd pit stop for Mark today already on lap 22. So Mark is going to come out of pit road about 45 seconds behind George. And Daniel, I'm just got to step away for 1 second. I will be right back.
Yes, sir. I'm watching George right now. He's running in the 4th position. He's having a great run. Great run for George Buck right here. Gonna go back and watch Kyle here. Let's see how he's attacking these corners. Is he gonna be more aggressive, or is he gonna kind of save a little bit of tires for the long haul here? He does have the fresh tires. I don't have the timing and scoring up on my screen, so when Jason comes back, I'd love to see if he was able to pull from Josh, or is Josh kind of maintaining right now? I'm watching Kyle go through the Roval right now. Josh is as well. Kyle's just exiting the bus stop as Josh is entering. Josh is now exiting. Mark is having a fantastic run. He's sitting in the 5th position. Looking at a top 5 at this point. Here's some downshifting here. Josh is really trying to attack these corners.
All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that.
That's all good. Josh just kicked out his back end a little bit. He had to save it a little bit, but he is really, really attacking these corners. Really being aggressive with these corners.
Yeah, it looks like he's making some gains here, slightly on Kyle, but still at a 5-second gap.
Yep. That's exactly what I was just talking about. I was just saying I don't have the scoring or the timing in front of me, but I was just watching the way that he's driving. He is still just being aggressive and staying with it. It seems like Kyle is kind of still conserving on his tires. He's being easy on the going into the corners and easy off of the throttle control.
Well, I feel like his strategy has put everybody in a kind of a tight pickle that he was able to run that long and not lose the lead, because with one pit stop left in this race, he can run to lap 42 if he wanted to run long again and only have 8 laps left on those last set of tires, or he could choose to short pit. And really it puts Josh in a pickle. Josh can't really short pit. He's already been out there for 8 laps to Kyle's 3. So
well,
oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, let's think outside the box. If he, let's say, pits with 8 laps left, does he do a gas and go only with no tires? Has he saved enough tires so he doesn't have to grab that last set?
Oh no, they'll need the tires. The tires are going to be mandatory. Even in my short practice earlier today, after I think it was 5 or 6 laps, my tire wear was enough to where you take the tires, because you're getting a full tank of fuel anyways. So like at that point, like the grip these tires degrade pretty fast. And granted, I wasn't pushing the car super hard, but I wasn't running the lap times these guys are on fresh tires either. I was best I got into was like a 149.7, and these guys have been as low as the 147s. So I feel like with having, you know, the set of tires, 2 sets of tires still in the pits for these guys, that they'll take a set on that second stop. I don't think you can save and not use the tire, because at that point you're just putting yourself in a box to run 2 seconds slower a lap as these tires wear, compared to, and maybe more, because I haven't seen them go any longer than 20 laps.
Exactly. What is the gap now? Because it seems like Kyle
is close. It's close. Yeah. We're down to 2.4 seconds. Josh is trying to hammer down some lap times here, and I don't know if Kyle's playing with them or if Josh has found something, but if I look at the lap times, Kyle is playing. That is what I believe. Kyle's running 3 to 4 seconds slower than what he did on fresh tires at the beginning of the race. Josh is closing. He is within a second.
Flying.
What is going on here? Kyle is playing. He's playing for the broadcast, or I don't know what he's doing here, but this is not expected.
Josh is a good road course racer. He can handle that car. He is a wheelman. Oh, he's off the track.
Oh, no. Josh.
Overdrove that.
Let's go back and look at on the replay as we were following on Kyle's car. But that curb, I think, yep, that curb got me a couple times in my test session too.
Oh.
Just unloads the car and you don't have any grip. Oh, what a shame. So now that puts him back to 4 seconds back of Kyle after getting to his bumper by however means, if Kyle was laying back a little bit or whatnot. Now he has to work all that back and try on these tires that are now definitely worn.
Yep. And not only that, he slid them, obviously.
Yep.
Did he flat spot them? Did he wear them out a little bit more?
Didn't look like he locked up though, so at least I don't think, you know, because he was in the grass, he was able to kind of catch it and bite it and roll back onto the track. So here he comes. He's gaining a ton of time again, down to 3 seconds. Is Kyle trying to save gas to not stopping him?
Yeah,
I don't see how, seeing he only ran 21 laps on the first run and had 29 laps to. I don't see that. I think he's trying to give us a little bit of a show. I don't know yet. it's interesting to try to figure out what's going on here as Josh is eating into that time again, down to 2 seconds and closing quickly. As we see across the line, Kyle runs a 1:53. Josh ran a 1:54 because at this point Josh was on his bumper in the last lap.
He pulled back up. He's getting
Yeah,
closer
he's
again.
coming. 1.4.
This is where he lost it here, coming out of this corner right here.
He makes it through
Now
that
it takes
time.
a smooth. Yep.
And now
Sets
Kyle
up
kind of
for-
hangs it there at 1.6 seconds and gaining just a little bit. So maybe he's distracted. Maybe Kyle had to slow down while he got the koozie changed on his beers from the empty one to a full one. I'm not certain, but it's not usual to see.
You never know what's going on in the cockpit of that 13.
All right, so as we see now he's gotten up to a 2-second gap, 2.3. He's pulling away again and kind of going through the field here. It looks like Travis still in third, 23 seconds, 24 seconds off the lead as Josh is now closing back in. Every time I look up, that timing and scoring is jumping and it changes color when it does this, and he is there. Like, what is Kyle doing? I'm confused. Let's go and ride with Josh. Go in the car with Josh and see what happens here. As he is just gaining on Kyle. Goes to the high side, passes him. Kyle is cruising and letting off way early.
Yep.
As I ride along with Kyle real quick just to see what he's doing. He is trying something. He is I have a feeling he's got to be trying to save fuel and not pit again. He wants to see if he can do it.
This is going to be fun. I love when different strategies are at play.
Oh, Josh locks it up.
Oh!
Oh, and look at that. Kyle not rushing, not pushing. Just rolled through that corner. He's really shifting early.
Yep. I
And
think you
is-
might be right.
That's the only thing I can think of is he's taking this as, okay, let's see, can I run so many more laps by,
Put the bumper.
yeah, he got real close there. But really clean driving. These guys show respect and courtesy lap in and lap out every week. See, Kyle's
Well, if
playing
he
with
steps
us.
in, he can draft and save a little bit more gas if that's what his plan is. Coming up onto the Roval part or the Speedway part.
Down the back stretch, he's gonna get a good tow here. He's letting off way early. Josh is diving that car down deep, but then Kyle's just able to roll in and makes it all up right to his bumper coming in the bus stop. Just beautiful driving.
So smooth. That bus stop is not easy. You hit that curb wrong and you're going to go for a loop-de-loop.
Agreed. So as we've been watching that, we'll go back to our TV cameras here, and we're just going to do a quick chance through the field here to see where everybody's at. As Josh leads currently, Kyle's running second. We've got Travis in third. It's 22.98 seconds off the lead. Currently it looks like Mark has gotten, the position has flipped. So Mark is ahead of George now in P4, and George is, looks like minute 10 seconds back. So he's on the infield getting ready to come back on the oval, and Mark is just entered the infield section. So pretty good gap there that Mark has on George. They both have made 3 stops. The last pit stop for George was a 44-second stop, so I don't know if he had to stop from damage or whatnot. And Theodore has made it back on track. He must have had that 30-minute repair for his engine, and he is back on track. He's crashed a couple times. I'm getting updates here, but he is running 7th and he can get a position on Robert Rushing if he runs a few more laps here, it looks like.
Yeah, I saw a couple guys so far back in the laps down. I was gonna ask if there was any incidents early that I missed.
Yeah, there was some action. First, I mean, the start of the race, we had 10 drivers in the field tonight, and 92, James Malloy didn't even grid up. He must have left before qualifying because he didn't even run a qualifying lap that I recall. And then there was a pretty big mix-up in lap 1, turn 1, where the 45 and the 028 both kind of missed their braking points, overdrove the corners. The 45 made contact with the 13, gave him the dent in his rear bumper. And the 028, I don't think had any damage or any heavy contact and was able to continue on and run in the top 4. And Todd had issues early on and had a spin, no damage, went back to pits and called it a night. I know Trevor had issues on the third corner, got off track and then had a couple more off tracks once his tires got hot. Damaged the middle and had to come in, use a fast repair on lap 1, which was rough. And then he made an attempt when he got back on track to get going and had another off track and got more damage and called it a night pretty early. Theodore has run with us. This is his first race with us. Robert Rushing invited him in to race with us. And he had an eventful first few laps with some off tracks and damage, and got a fast repair, and then had a misshift on the oval, and blew his motor and towed back to pits, and actually had time to get it repaired and come back on track. So, and then Robbie had some issues and had to get some towed to pits a while ago, and he's been off track for a good bit now. So as we see, Kyle is just playing behind that 24, staying within striking distance, knowing that the 24 is most likely going to have to pit, not soon, but I mean, we're at 21 to go, so lap 29, so this is his 13th lap. He ran 16 on his first stop, on his first stint, so he's getting close to where that window would open up for him to pit again. I think once we complete this lap, anybody that pits with 20 to go or less because of the fuel run should be good to make it the rest of the way. So pits are open for anybody to make their last stop from here all the way through the end of the race.
As you were going through the field, I was watching this battle going on. Kyle did put the bumper to him a little bit here and there. So this is going to get interesting coming down the late stretch here. He's just so smooth.
We're going to jump back in the car with Kyle. We're going to use the gyro cam, get an angle here from the passenger side as Josh looks like lets him by. Dang it, as soon as I get in the car. So we'll jump in with Josh and we'll look from his perspective and ride with him here for a little bit and see how far away Kyle gets away now. See if he stretches this out. Said, all right, I hung behind you long enough, let you burn up your stuff even more.
Yep.
And they're in chat together, so you know they're talking it over in Discord voice chat about what they're doing here. There's no tricks. If Kyle's trying anything, Josh is calling him out.
I should hop in there just to get some secrets. I'll bring it back to you.
And he's already checked out to over a second on Josh. But he's still not going hard on the straightaway, so Josh is gaining that time back coming to the bus stop. So Kyle is still saving fuel, and Josh is right up to his bumper. Oh my goodness. The speed difference they have on coming into a corner is scary. And then Kyle just rolls away. So he gets up to speed pretty decently, but he never runs full throttle. He is... I wish I could see throttle trace for these drivers. It would be so interesting to show how he's doing this. Josh is all the way to him, and oh, on the inside, do we have a battle for the lead again? As Josh is on the inside, Kyle is letting him take the lead, going into the corner. Is he going to undercut him? Oh, Josh locks up and prevents Kyle from getting the undercut on him. The crossover move. What a pass! These guys are having fun.
This is good, hard racing right here.
Two of the best road course racers we've got. Not the only two, though. We've got more, but these two are always at the top on road course races. And they are putting on a show for us here tonight. With all that going on, just an update, Travis has fallen back a little bit more, or he's at 37 seconds. He's actually gained time, I apologize. 37 seconds back. I want to say that's a drop. I want to say he was closer than that.
Yeah, while these two are battling up here, swapping positions, dive bombing, and everything else, hopefully Travis can get up here and join. That would be great to watch a three-way battle up here.
Do have a report. Looks like Theodore had another crash and had to get towed to pits. So again, like I said, when his motor blew, I figured his night was over, and he proved me wrong. But it might be this time, depending on how much time or damage he has for repairs. As he's still in 7th, he didn't complete enough laps to get by Robert. He was just a lap shy, it looks like, of passing Robert for 6th. As these guys are side by side for the lead. Kyle's still doesn't look like he's doing full throttle. He might be trying now, actually, because he gets by Josh. Looks like Josh is looking. Oh, no, they're both. Whoa.
Oh, this is
coming to 18 laps to go at the line, and these both of our leaders have hit pit road at the same time. So that was the shortest stint for Kyle. The shortest stint ever. Not sure what happened there.
Wonder if they're going to say mano y mano for the last couple laps.
I think challenge is accepted here.
Yep,
same equipment,
right.
And come out at the same time and battle it out. I'm shocked. This is going to be fun.
Who's going to have the bragging rights? We're going to find out at the end, that's for sure, when we interview somebody.
They both exit pit road at the same time. And here comes Travis. Travis is coming into turn 1 now. This is going to be close between them and Travis, although he still has to pit for sure.
Come on, Travis, get up in there.
Travis is going to be just a little bit behind. It looks like he got close, though. He's right there, but again, older tires. One of these guys makes a mistake. Travis could capitalize, take that position, but we do know Travis will have to pit at least one more time. Kyle and Josh should be good to the end as long as they don't get heavy damage. So we'll see how nice they play with each other. And don't overdrive that car, Joshua O'Brien. Keep that 24 looking good with that Napa paint scheme. Just for the record, that paint scheme looks better on a 9 car, but I'm not saying anything else. Looks great though.
We definitely do have some awesome and amazing talented painters in our league as well.
Yeah, they're always showing off.
Yeah.
Skilled, super skilled.
I don't have that talent. That's why I always pass it off. This is the part of the track where Kyle really go through the bus stop. Can Josh hang onto that bumper right there? That's the question.
He's there. He got through it and is closing in ever so slightly. We're under 0.2 of a second gap. That's basically just over a car length. He's getting that draft off the 13 as they both. Let's see how they send it into turn 1 this time. Josh likes that bottom. He's not able to dive deeper than Kyle this time, though. Kyle pushes wide, a little bit of smoke. Oh, he gets the undercut.
They both locked it up.
Side by side. Oh, over the curbing goes the 13. Over the curbing goes the 24. They keep them straight. Great battle. Oh, so close. This is crazy. These guys are putting on a heck of a show tonight. This corner Kyle's been so good at tonight.
Yes.
It's a long sweeper, roll around this corner, get good corner off exit speed, able to control that throttle. Josh nails it that lap.
Key is when you're coming out of that corner on that apex, if you can straighten your nose out and you point it out where you want it to go, then you can feather the gas and throttle control.
We need a ticker. I'm gonna get a ticker for every time Daniel's in the booth. Just how many times he says throttle control. I warned y'all when he came in. He said it 3 times in a row.
Yep.
It's like saying
Yes, he did.
Beetlejuice. It's guaranteed to have something happen. So throttle control ticker for Daniel Butler when we're in the booth. Copy. I will work on that.
I'm just speaking to myself for the next race that I'm in. I
Yeah.
got to remind myself.
That's a
throttle
reminder,
control.
right? You got to
That's
get
right.
some sticky notes to put underneath the monitors on the rig for reminders. Just take all the quotes just take all of my quotes for over the past 6 months I've been giving you. I'm sure you'll have enough ammunition. I don't know if you have enough sticky notes, but you'll have enough ammunition. And Kyle looking to the inside of Josh as they come into braking here into turn 1.
He took Josh's line away.
Yep, but Kyle locks it up again. Smoke out of that left front.
He gave him the inside.
And here they are, the same spot. Both of them over the same curbs, and Josh back up front again. This is crazy. Oh, Josh locks up the right front.
Use up the tires now.
They are using them. And with 16 to go, these guys are putting down, literally, this last lap, Josh ran a 146.69, fastest lap of the race for anybody. And then right behind him, Kyle ran a 146.86, fastest lap for Kyle. So they both are putting it in. The fastest laps of the race just run by these two drivers running nose to tail and battling each other for the lead.
Amazing.
Exceptional driving. Really fun to watch as, ooh, Kyle gets right up to his bumper before diving down. These guys are so close. And Kyle has got a nose on him, taking that shorter way around. Will Josh let him in line? Nope, here he comes with the momentum. Who brakes first going into the bus stop?
Knowing both of them, they both don't want to brake first.
They didn't go through side by side though, so props to them, because that would have been a really tough corner right there.
That's right.
So now Josh is behind Kyle on the exit of this lap. So again, gonna get the draft, gonna get the pull coming out of oval turn 4 onto that long front stretch. Hit the start finish line for this lap. Coming to 15 laps to go. And hard on the brakes. Josh stays high, looking to maybe cross back under. A little bit of smoke off the front tire. Doesn't get to gain anything there really. Kind of stays even. Josh gets on those curves, scares me, man. Got him a few laps ago that one time, and he's up on and over the curves on the inside of that corner. Josh is trying to be where the 13 isn't. He gets loose. He hasn't heard you say throttle control enough. We're gonna have to.
Come on, Josh, throttle control, buddy. It's so tempting when you see the car in front of you and you're closing and you just want to mash it. You just want to go and that back end takes out on you.
Once you get that car rotated and you can get the wheels straight, you can give it more throttle, but you still have to be cautious with the power of these cars on this aged pavement, certainly that infield section.
Mm-hmm.
As now Kyle's pulled out just over a second on Josh after that infield. And updated news flash on pit stops. Travis is in third still. He has not made his last stop yet. He is still, we're still waiting for him to make his next stop as he last pitted on lap 17.
As I'm still looking through the field, great run by George and great run by Mark, both sitting in the top 5. That's amazing. That's awesome. Great racing by those two.
Speaking of great racing, we actually had a pass for that position here not too long ago as George just got back to 4th and Mark is 3.6 seconds behind him in 5th. This is the closest they've been. It looks like Mark made a pit stop. So that brought the field back, or brought George back up to him. And George has gotten by him. George last stopped on lap 25, and Mark pitted on 32 when the leaders did. So few laps older tires for George, and he's got a 2.7 second lead as Mark is closing in. So we're going to watch this battle for a second just to see these two battle it out. See what kind of run Mark can make on George here for this 4th place, as these guys solidly locked into top 5s tonight. You know, when you have trouble, you have trouble. It happens to all of us. This track is tough. These cars are tougher at this track. And even in a field of 10, if you can be running at the end, you've done something good. That's how I look at most of my races when we go to weird tracks and stuff where we haven't run a lot in these cars, or in a different car or something like that. And great run by both of these guys, as Mark is under 2 seconds now. No change at the front, as Josh is still just over a second behind Kyle. Travis has just made his second pit stop here on lap 36 and is roughly 58 seconds, it says there, just over 58, almost 59 seconds behind the lead. Josh has gotten within a second and is closing. So Kyle, oh, and then it stretches back out.
Watching his battle between Mark and George. Mark seems to be closing.
Mark is coming. Those fresher tires are helping him. I'm going to go back up to the lead real quick as Josh is closed within a half a second. So these guys have just come back on the infield part of the track. 13's just rolling the corners. He is not overdriving the car. He is keeping himself from making a mistake and getting the longest life out of these tires as he can.
And I noticed he didn't roll out all the way to the white line. He still stayed middle to the top third of the track.
Yeah.
He's not pushing it, so the momentum is not sliding him out, sliding those tires at all. Josh can grab a piece of that draft.
Just through the bus stop, just following along here with the 28 and the 80 as Mark has closed within just a few car lengths of George here. So this battle here is going to get pretty tight as they're coming around the oval turn 4 onto the front stretch. Mark's got the draft off the 28.
This is going to be interesting on these two. Can Mark be patient? Is George going to make a mistake?
They both overdrove going into one, and George is in the grass.
Oh no!
And Mark gets by. They both overdrove into one pretty hard and had to lock up their tires. So George does have to give up that spot. He was off track and he didn't want to spin out and took his time coming back up. So Mark does get 4th place currently. George is still there, but with those older tires, I don't know if he'll be able to really catch Mark without something happening on Mark's end, as Mark started to stretch that lead out for 4th just a little bit. It's already up to 2.5 seconds. So as we go back to the lead, the interval warning alert is telling me that Kyle is still staying around that between 0.8 of a second and 1.2 seconds gap on Josh. Can't wait to hear from these guys at the end of the race, because I'm sure one of them is going to have much better tires on their car at the end of this race than the other, because I feel like Josh is giving it every bit he can. And under braking, you put so much more load on your tires when you're overdriving that entry just a hair, just trying to keep that momentum to stay with this 13.
I think these guys should be wearing heart monitors.
I know, right? Oh, 24 gets a little squirrely out of the bus stop. That was scary. Don't bend it. Have fun, but don't bend it, guys. Currently the 28 of George Buck just went on pit road. He's making a pit stop after that last lap. He lost fourth place to Mark, so George is in for what should be his last pit stop of the race, as we're at 11 laps to go. And the leaders just went by too, so that should put him 3 laps down. Mark is just a few seconds ahead of the leaders, 1.5 corners, so to speak. So we're going to see the leaders catching Mark here in a little bit, most likely, as George completes his pit stop. 16.1 second pit stop, and he's rolling off pit road exit here. Beautiful looking Haviland 28 car. Throwback. I love it. I love the color scheme. I grew up with that with Davey Allison, and
Yes.
it's always beautiful to see that. Even all the years Ernie Irvin drove that Haviland car. I love it so much. Back to the front. Kyle's in first. He's still got that 1.7 second lead over Josh. 24 cars trying. These guys have worked hard. We are been racing since 9:10 Eastern, and so we're going on an hour and 20 minutes of straight green flag racing, no yellows, no breaks. And we're coming around this time at the line. Will be 10 laps to go. These guys have got to be getting tired just a little bit. Constant, no breaks, no cautions, no nothing. And if I go and click on I'm just going to do a double check on the weather box here. We'll pull that up real quick. And yeah, that track temp, which was over 100 in practice, was at 90 when the race started, is now 84. So we've had the track temp drop, so tire wear should be a little bit better. They've added a lot of grip to this track along the race now. This is a heck of a battle, as now we see Kyle has kind of stretched it out here. See Ben over there in the chat. He said, "Great broadcast, guys." Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, Ben. It's always good to see you, Ben.
Ben, there's always an open seat over here for you if you ever want to come and chat with us too. You're always more than welcome.
Absolutely. I just watched Josh. He looked like he overdrove the exit at one of those corners. He kicked out the back end a little bit.
Yes, he did, and he gave up. We were actually on him there, and he's lost another 2 seconds. He's at 3.5 back now, so he lost some time with that slip up. Those tires are talking to him a little differently than Kyle Heath's tires are talking to him, I'll tell you that much. But that's just the driving style, right?
That's right.
And what do you got to have to take care of them rear tires? What's that phrase?
Oh, I can't remember. Throttle control.
There it is. Throttle control. Ding, 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 ding. All right. Getting that ticker, I promise you. As we see, Josh is falling back even more. He's dropped off a ton here. He is 6 seconds back now, as Kyle just slays down a 1 minute 50 second lap. So that's pretty much what Josh ran. The last lap was a 150. This time Josh runs a 154.8. So a lot of and he overdrives one, locking the tire up. He's off track. He keeps it out of the wall. Okay, so this is trouble for our P2 driver. Our P2 driver is falling back. Locking the brakes up now. The car is feeling lighter with less fuel in it. Tires are super hot. He's been in attack mode trying to keep up with this third team. I know the feeling. I do it every week. Josh does too. We're battling with this third team week in, week out. Kyle is an exceptional driver and just really, puts the challenge to all of us to perform at our best abilities. And Josh is another one of these drivers that since he's joined FGR has just come in and really been a top 3, top 5 driver week in, week out. Doesn't always show because other things that happen on track and stuff like that, but he's always super competitive and fast in everything that we run, and he can really attack a track, and it's fun to race with him. It's fun to watch him race, as as he has fallen back to a 10-second deficit to Kyle currently as he's coming on the back stretch. Checking on the rest of the field. I know we haven't given much time to Travis. I'm going to follow along with him here for a little bit. The 028, the Delta car. He's coming
Great
up on
paint
the
scheme.
28. 28 pulls off into the grass. Says, go on, Travis. Lets him go on by. Great respect by the 28. I love the paint scheme. He was running a Delta car last night in the Octane Outlaws race as well, so
Yeah. Yes, he was.
I wonder if he's got some connections with Delta Airlines, but really cool paint scheme. Gotta see if we can help him get his number situated for him so he doesn't have to have a sim stamp number on top of it, but that is a great looking car. He currently sits just a minute off the pace of Kyle Heath, 1 minute, 1 second.
He is really good through that bus stop. Using those curbs to his advantage, helping him turn it.
Yeah. And reviewing back further, Mark is in fourth. He's pulled out to a minute on George when George made that pit stop a lap after Mark got the pass on him. So George is still riding in fifth, about a minute behind Mark on track in timing and scoring. Both of them are 3 laps down to the leader currently. And top 3 cars have only made 2 pit stops this race. Mark and George in 4th and 5th have both made 4 pit stops this race. And then the rest of the field is solidly locked up between Robert in 6th, Theodore in 7th, Todd in 8th, Trevor in 9th, and James Malloy will get credited with 10th, but I don't think it'll win scored in a points event because he didn't make a lap. But that's our top 10, and that's our 10 that have raced tonight. Riding here with watching George again. I love that Havlin paint scheme. That's a really good looking car. He's out here managing just decent lap time, taking care of his car. He's run as fast as a 151.8 tonight in this race, which is a really good lap. His last lap was a 157.8. So kind of taking care of his car, not overdriving it, just getting it to the finish line, and doing a really good job of it, of staying out of trouble.
Absolutely. Absolutely. George is having a fantastic run. Let's just watching Mark a little bit. He got too aggressive on corner exit and ended up in the grass, moaning a little bit. Let's just see if George can capitalize on that and catch up.
Looks like Josh just got by him to begin this lap here and put him a lap down to him, but that still leaves Mark 3 laps down. Kyle has stretched that lead out a little bit more. We're at over 14 seconds of a gap now. Kyle's got this thing in overdrive. Last lap he ran a 149.7. That was 2 seconds faster than Josh, 2 seconds faster than the whole field. Nobody was within 2 seconds on lap time last lap.
He is definitely the closer. That last third of any race, he really does a good job managing his stuff all race long. It doesn't matter what track, he just manages, stays out of trouble, and he's always there at the end.
Still think he's got a lucky rabbit's foot somewhere. Been trying to get a hold of it, because in the 2 seasons of running with him in this Gen 6 car, he's been super dominant, right? He's the man to beat in most of these events. He puts in really good effort and stays out of trouble, and maybe a little bit of luck here and there. But he dominated the first season and won that championship, and had a sizable, not a huge lead, but a sizable championship lead in season 2 last season, and he had to miss a couple races, and it put him back in points to where he couldn't make up the deficit for missing those 2 races, so he wasn't able to win the championship. We won't talk about who won that championship, but but
I
nonetheless,
think it was like
he's
in a 9 car. I think it was a 9 or
some
something.
some 9 car. Okay. But nonetheless, I mean, I say that I had a lucky rabbit's foot for that season. You know what I mean? It was I got lucky because Kyle missed a couple of races and I was able to perform and get a win and just stay competitive and keep it close to where I didn't have any big mistakes those 2 races or anything like that. But Kyle would have been in the same boat last season if not for those races missed. So now we come into season 3 that starts in a couple weeks from tonight, and we start at Old Atlanta for week 1, right? That track, old surface, a lot of tire wear, slipping and sliding, tire management, easy on the throttle, easy on the wheel, all the things that Kyle Heath has been showing us week in and week out that we need to get better at. And so it starts right away at week 1. We've got to come present and be ready to put on a really good fight with him. And it's going to be exciting. I'm always excited for the challenge for some good hard racing. I want to win. I love to win, but that's not the end result for me. I just want to have some really good fun racing, and these guys bring it. Everybody we've got that's joined this league comes in every week, and I'll give a perfect example, and I'm not trying to put him on the spot, but Mark, he comes in every week. He says, yeah, I know I'm the turtle guy, I'm slow, and we have fun with it, but he literally comes in every week and tries to get better and tries to have a fun race, do the best he can, and leave with a smile at the end of the race. And these guys have been doing that with us for a good minute now, as we're closing in on a year with First Gear Racing, and we have a lot of guys that are competitive, spirited to stay and want to better themselves and work on their racecraft and have fun racing with their friends and their family. So that's the theme we have here, and that's the theme we're seeing week in, week out, as we enter going into our 3rd season of the Gen 6 series. And then because we had such good success in the other 2, in the IndyCar series and the GT3 series, those are coming back for a 2nd round this time around too. So just a shout out to all of our fans, friends, family, and our drivers, all of our partners that help with the league, and trying to make something to have a community where people can come and have fun on iRacing. And yeah, we take it seriously. We have rules, but as long as we're having fun and we're trying to keep things fair and respectful, that's what matters. And these guys really come in and show that. So it's been great to be a part of it, and I'm super happy and excited to be going into the next season with this league, this series, this community, and all of you guys. This has been a blast, and I'm glad I get to start doing this broadcasting stuff too, because now I start talking too much.
No, it really is, and I second that, Jason. That was amazing. What is going on here is absolutely awesome. We have something for everybody in here, and the thing is, we have great racers in here like Kyle, like Todd, like yourself, and Josh, and amazing. And it's somebody like me where it's like, okay, I want to compete with these guys, and it's going to force me, okay, what am I doing? What do I need to improve on? What am I doing well? And sort of things like that. And it's like, I feel like I've improved as a racer. And, I look at guys like Trevor, who's improved over time. Mark is even improving. I mean, look, he's sitting in the top 5 tonight. And George, same thing. And what is going on is we are elevating each other, and that's what's awesome about that. Is forget racing for a moment, but just as a family, and just encouraging, and a little bit of self-confidence goes a long way, and we can bring that out into everyday life as well. So I'm so grateful for FGR, and Jason, thank you so much for listening to us and really making this something special.
Absolutely, man. And it's been a blast so far, and the growth that we've had and everything is because of the members, because of the people that have come in, and the communication inside our Discord and the chats and the ideas, and people coming forward and saying, I want to try this, or I want to do this, let's try this. And the idea is to make us more than a one-dimensional league and one series. And I mean, that's what our first year was. We were just trying to get on our feet, and now we're, you know, entering season 3 of this series alone, but the third series around for us as a total. And now we're running 3 hard series, looking at a 4th, and trying to line up that, and then this broadcast network and all the work that goes into this, that everybody has put in the support we receive from our members, our fans, our sponsors, the donations, and everything that helps us be able to do what we love to do. This is our hobby. This is our second life, right? We have real lives, real families, real responsibilities, and yet we love to race, and this makes it cheaper for us to do.
Right.
As in, being a real race car driver requires a lot more money week in, week out to take care of that car or truck or whatever you're driving and keep it straight and on the track. So this has been a really great thrill. Just an update as we've been talking here. Josh has fallen off a few seconds every lap from Kyle's pace, as Kyle's still running some 149s, which are just killer laps for this far in the run. But he has fallen back 32 seconds off the lead, and he's only, what, I almost got to go back here and click, 40 seconds in front of Travis. I don't think there's enough time with there just coming to 2 to go now as Kyle's coming in line. But if he makes one bad mistake or has a slip up, this could change things up for our top 3. Just finishing wise, I would assume, is again Mark and George are 4th and 5th, but they're both 3 laps down. There's less than 3 laps left in the race. Even a terrible DNF by our 2nd or 3rd or even 1st place driver would keep them in the top 3 for interviews after the race. But just kind of watching that on the timing and scoring, and just kind of like, okay, something to look at as we kind of ride with Kyle here and follow him on the cam. Again, shout out to him for a great race night. Passed in practice, fastest in qualifying, and has been the class of the field tonight. Shout out to Josh. Really fast here on practice too, learned the track, got real down into speed and consistency with it. But when it comes to the race side of it, he's been right there on lap time for most of the race. Just the overdriving or losing the car a little bit. A couple of those instances have put him in a bad spot where he's not contending for the win to end it, but still a great run. Really hard track, really hard to stay up front, and he's been up there all night. And a shout out to Travis. He had that lockup on lap 1, turn 1. Stayed out of trouble after that, and has run 3rd this whole race, and has taken care of the car and kept it clean, kept it looking good, and is performing at a really great level. It's been fun to watch these guys, and it's been a heck of a show as Kyle is coming around. Looks like this should be the white flag. Final lap of tonight's race.
Here we are on the final lap.
I hear in front of him a little bit of tires in the grass noise. Looks like George, okay, it's George right in front of him, may have gone off track just a little bit there as Kyle's closing in on him. This will be to put George a 4th lap down. I'm going to assume that George is going to oblige and give position to the 13, let him by. And that way he doesn't have to make a whole nother lap around the track, because if he stays in front of the 13, he's making a whole nother lap. But he stays in front as they go into the bus stop here.
Kyle's just going to be smooth through
Yeah,
here.
no need to push here, yeah.
Just finished.
but here he goes up and around the 28 as the 28 lets him by. Again, that's the respect and courtesy we see from our drivers week in, week out. It's awesome. These guys, 4 laps down, still, may not be the night he wanted, but he stayed clean. And George, with his off tracks and everything, kept his car from getting totaled or damaged to where he couldn't finish, and is going to finish the race in 5th. And Kyle crosses the line and takes the checker. He will be our winner. And as we go back through the field here, we got to go all the way back to the bus stop where Josh is.
That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Good hard racing.
I really loved that they came and put on a show for us there on that pit stop. That Kyle didn't try to stretch it or anything like that, and they really came off pit road with equal tires, bumper to bumper, and battled it out.
Yeah, that'll be a great conversation to be had in a few moments when we talk to both of them. What were they thinking? What was being said in their chat? All that
right?
stuff. It'll be a lot of fun.
There's Travis, so he's running P3. He's just going through the bus stop, so he's got to come around NASCAR 3 and 4, and then he will finish in 3rd place tonight. And as we do on all of our race events, the top 3 get a chance to be interviewed afterwards. So we are going to hopefully see these guys in the booth here momentarily as Travis comes across to finish 3rd. Great job by that 0218. And now I can put up the standings. We will show those for you. And we will turn off the ticker as we don't need it anymore. Kyle Heath is our winner tonight in that 13 car. Wins by 40 seconds over Joshua O'Brien in 2nd. Then Travis finishes on the lead lap in 3rd. Mark Owlett comes in 4th, and George Buck 5th. Great job on those top 5s by all those drivers. Those are the only 5 drivers that made it to the end of the race. Everybody else had issues, situations, troubling wrecks, not enough fast repairs, and were unable to finish tonight's event. Thanks to everybody for coming out tonight for that. And as we go back to, go ahead and get that turned back off here. We'll hide that. We're going to turn up our driver profile, and we're going to go back a couple laps here. We're just going to
Kyle burning it down.
burning it down.
Burn it down. I don't care if it's the Roval or the Speedway. There's something special about being able to do donuts in the grass.
Amen. All right, as we wait to see the guys coming into the waiting room here, I don't know if Travis is on Discord tonight, but we'll get one of the gentlemen in here shortly. We're going to go ahead and start with P2 since he's popped in there, so we'll go ahead and pull Josh in. Let me get him moved up here. Joshua O'Brien, this is Jason in the booth. You get a copy?
How's it going, guys? I got you.
It's going, buddy. How are you, man? Tell us, first off, congratulations on P2 tonight. It was tough racing, tough track, and overpowered car with not enough grip in the rear tires, as we could see through this race. But tell us about your night, man. Tell us about that final, second to third stint where you and Kyle got to have some really good battles there.
Yeah, I'm exhausted after that one. That one felt like it took forever. And as Daniel stated, that throttle control was key.
I tried
You said it.
Yep. I tried to short pit there on the first run just to kind of gain back some of that time I lost. Once I seen them guys have that trouble in turn 1, I used my stuff up to try to get myself a little buffer, but I mean Kyle's hard to beat. So then I stayed on that short pit. I mean, I pit lap 16. I flipped to 32, and I caught Kyle, and I was like, okay, he's definitely saving. He was trying to go one stop.
Okay.
But when I caught him, and then he started second guessing, and when he started second guessing, he's like, I can't get it below 2 laps. He's like, I need 2 laps, but at the rate I'm going, and now you're passing me, he couldn't do it. So when I dove to pit road, he did too. And my game plan there was to run him as hard as I could. Figured he's not going to save if I can race him. And because once he got by me that last time, I had nothing for him. So
And that
kudos to him,
and
man.
that you did. You ran him hard.
Yes, you did.
That was the goal,
That
but
was
to keep it clean, I can't believe he was able to, even under that hard racing, he saved quite a bit.
he is the master at corner entry speed. He does not abuse his car and yet still gets good entry speed, and he's so smooth on exit. Every time you would gain on him a ton on corner entry because he rolls in so much earlier, but yet it carried the speed. He could hit that mark almost every corner and not be too slow, because that's what happens to me all the time is I'll go to enter a corner different than pushing hard and I'll slow up too much. But he finds that every time. It was a fun battle to watch you though, because you guys were really going at it, and it was fun to watch because I was like, what is Kyle doing? Is he doing this on purpose to just like put on a show? Is he teasing Josh? Is he trying to make
We
it? And
were,
that's one of the things that hit me. I was like, is he trying to make it on fuel?
yeah,
And
he was, he was.
when you guys pitted at the same time, I was like, wow, he gave up all that time that he could have stretched out because he hadn't
Yep.
pitted that long ago. I was like, okay, then they're doing a heads up battle. I'm like, this is going to be fun to watch. And it really was. You guys both raced each other super clean, and it was a heck of a battle. And then when you started to fall back, I was like, oh, Josh used up his stuff, and Kyle was able to save it. Just save his stuff. He was able to battle and not lose it. And that's the part that we're all trying to find out is how in the heck is he doing that?
Yeah, I mean, he ended up going out to 30 seconds, but he got me by like 8 seconds. I overdrove a couple corners there, and once he had that 8-10 second lead,
Yeah.
just the tire fall off to the car lightening up with the less fuel load, the longer in the run. I really backed it down myself. I'm like, all right, I can't make mistakes. He's got the win. I just need to focus on locking second up because Travis pit a lot later than us too, and then he was running me down. So I'm like, I got the buffer there. I need to back this way up, and I backed it up like 3 seconds a lap, and even now and then the car would be unpredictable, and you'd still overdrive the corner, and it was like I felt I was running pretty consistent. And one lap you would hit your braking marks perfect. The second lap you'd do the same exact thing, and you're overdriving the corner somehow. Just it it's such a fine line locking these brakes up, and there's just so much with these Gen 6 cars. They're honestly a real they're a blast to drive, but at the same time they can wear you out.
Yeah, I agree. And great showing tonight, though. Great drive. You were fast in practice, fast in qualifying. You're fast in the race. Again, Kyle gets you in the finishing order, but great event for you through and through. Even with the little slide offs, the little hiccups along the way, you kept the car clean and you made it from beginning to end, and showed that even on a road course, that 24 is going to be to reckon with week in and week out. So great event for you tonight, and congratulations on the second place.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys, and awesome job up here in the booth. I kind of had you playing in the background there, maybe a little insider trading kind of deal. Got to
Yeah,
get
we
that
kind of
information
figured,
on everybody.
kind of
So,
figured that between you and Kyle, well, I figured both of you might have had us in your ear because Kyle was even in the chat early on in the room before the race started, and I was like, is he listening into? Okay,
yep,
but
I
but it was
yep,
good to
I
have you
popped in as
guys.
well, and I always try to listen to you guys because, especially on fuel strategies and things like that, just that little bit of information goes a long way sometimes.
I
So,
know.
but
I've been saying it a couple times tonight. I talk too much, and I think I'm giving out the proper information too much. So there's going to be more people listening in that are on the track than there ever has been before.
well, not only is it good information to those listening at home, it's great information for me, and I think you're doing a fantastic job. So if you could just keep that up, I think everybody all around will be happy. But
Well,
Why do you think I hopped in here tonight? I wanted information too.
I was waiting for you to jump in voice chat too to you pick our brains and then come back in here.
I
But
wanted
we'll not keep Kyle waiting too long. We'll get the winner in here, and I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
Great
appreciate
job,
you.
Josh.
Great race, man. We'll see you in the next one. You have anybody to thank? Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Uh, Really, the family of first gear racing here. You guys covered it pretty well there in the broadcast, but I'm excited and see what the future holds here. We got a good thing going, and we'll keep making strides to be better.
Absolutely, brother. Well, I appreciate you, and again, congrats on that second place, and we'll see you back here in the booth, I'm sure, pretty soon.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Talk
Congrats.
to you guys. Good night.
Yes, sir.
That was Joshua O'Brien, our P2 finisher. We don't have our P3 tonight, but we do have our winner, and I'm going to get him moved up here into the booth. Kyle Heese, you got a copy.
I sure do.
Congratulations, my man. First place tonight in a what I would call a dominant fashion, but you definitely threw us some curveballs in the middle of the race there with the falling back to Josh and making me try to figure out if you were playing with the field or if you were playing the one-stop strategy. And Josh told us you were initially going to try it, but you were staying too short on fuel when he caught you. So tell us about your race. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, yeah. I was trying to make it a one stop. Every lap I was looking at my, laps to go counter, and it would fluctuate between being close to being good. Maybe I was down by one lap, and then next thing you know, I'm good. And next thing you know, I'm down by another lap, and then two laps, and then when uh, Josh caught me, it was like, there's no way of saving because I'm already just over two laps to the good. If I'd have known how fuel strategy would have went, I would have started saving as soon as the green flag flew.
Yeah.
If that would have happened, I really would have been able to make it on one stop. But as the tire fell off, I was having to use more, you know, throttle input coming out the corner.
Yep.
Not so much coming in. I was able to coast it in there and actually dive it in deeper than I wanted to because, experience of doing a 24-hour Daytona, if you can let off sooner, you can actually brake later and actually make it through the middle of the corner.
Yeah, you
It was
were.
helping me, but then, as a tire, like I said, as the tire fell off, I was having to, you know, use more throttle. I wish I would have started saving at the beginning.
Well, if you would have done that, that would have been taking everybody to the woodshed tonight, which you ended up doing anyways with a victory of over 40 seconds over second. But heck of a drive, and you were close to that. When you made it to lap 21 to pit, I was like, okay, he made it longer than what the fuel range typically was what I was seeing beforehand for the race. I was like, he saved a little bit, but then when you were falling back, I was like, I went in car and I was like, man, he's off throttle. He's not running full. He's coasting in. He's letting it roll. Like really doing all the things that seem like you're saving gas. But I'm like, he pitted with 29 laps to go. I'm like, I don't see it. I'm like, he's got to be playing. And then when Josh pitted and I saw you pit, I was like, okay, they're going for a heads-up battle right now. This is going to be fun. It's going to be a show. It's going to be entertaining. And it was. You guys really had a great battle there for a few laps, a handful of laps. And it was fun to watch you guys on track, side by side, switching positions. And even a little bit of tire lock up here and there where I was like, ooh, this is getting entertaining. So
Yeah, it got sketchy a couple times. I was like, oh Lord, I hope I didn't wear my stuff out too much by locking them up because I know I was.
yeah, that was. I mean, and with how the race started with the lap one and the
Oh
contacts,
Lord, that scared the crap out of me.
and and to then you fight back and get the lead on lap three, and you get back to checking out, and you do your thing, you get in your groove, but that whole time spent that whole race looking at that rear bumper all scratched up, and that's the only dent. I mean, that's the only flaw of anything that I can see that happened to you all race was just that lap one that fortunately didn't take you out of the race or put you in a terrible spot, but you had that reminder on the back of your car all night, and we were watching it, and I'm like, that's. I had to tell Daniel because he came in a little bit late to the broadcast that lap one was a little hairy. There was some contact, and two cars overdrove turn one and locked up, and I'm like, Kyle got a piece of it, lost the lead, and the next thing you know, 2 laps later, he's right back up front, and you're doing your thing, running your laps, running your race, taking care of your stuff, all the things you're known for, all the things that we're trying to get caught up to you on, and really a great, dominating and great performance on a track that we have not put these cars on as a league ourselves. Being preseason, something fun to run, just get the road course kind of pumping through our veins because we do have one road course this season, like we had the past 2 seasons, and definitely looks like you're the man to be up there. So again, congratulations on a great night, man. Great show. We appreciate you racing with us and putting on such a great. You really show the respect on track. You have fun with us. You really enjoy doing this, and you're revered between your opponents and the fans. I mean, everybody loves you. They, we want to beat you, but we know we got to go out there and do it the right way because that's how you bring it to the track. So just thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I try to have fun. You know, that was very good fun battling with Josh. It, I had so much fun with that. Whenever I see him come down pit road, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and come down pit road too. You know, have fresh tires, and we'll have a fun battle. At least with a broadcast booth going on, and I guess Josh was, driving his car a little bit harder than me, I guess. But I show respect out there. I'm not that type of person going to wreck somebody. I enjoy racing everybody in this league, and yeah, I mean, I'm just out here and have fun. That's it.
Well, you're doing it at the utmost level with us, and we appreciate you running with us. And again, your skills and your ability to drive these cars on all different forms, all these different types of tracks. You show up every week, and that's making everybody in this league try harder, work harder. And we mentioned in the broadcast, you're out here helping us too. You're really doing it more than what competitive, like super competitive people, they hold on to all their secrets, right? But you're out here helping us and giving us tips and tricks, and we appreciate you for that because that makes us as a league, as a community better, stronger, faster, and lets everybody get to have more fun of it and enjoy themselves. So we appreciate that from you, and again, congrats on a heck of a win here at Daytona Road Course. And we're just 2 weeks away from week one at Old Atlanta, which I know
Oh
is
yeah,
uh,
oh my, that's my
is
baby.
is your super favorite. So and of course at a track where you got to take care of tires and all that too. So but next week we've got Michigan. So
That should be fun.
we've had some hairy races there in the past, and really good racing. So excited to get to do that again here in the preseason and get to have some fun to ramp up for this regular season. So, Kyle, congrats again. Any shout outs? Anybody you want to thank? Give a shout out to before we let you go for the night.
Now, I want to give a big shout out to here, First Gear Racing. Come on, if whoever's out there watching, come join us. Have a blast.
Absolutely appreciate it, man. And congrats again. I'm sure we'll probably see you back in the booth next week after Michigan. But thanks again, and have a great night. Okay.
Yep, you have a good one.
All
See you in a
right.
little bit.
Congratulations,
All right,
Kyle.
buddy.
That was awesome.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Well, that's all for us tonight. Congrats again to our top five that finished tonight's race. In the running order again, Kyle Heath was our winner. Joshua O'Brien came in second. Travis Roberto comes in third. And then Mark Owlett comes in fourth. And George Buck gets fifth tonight. Again, First Gear Network appreciates you watching and participating with us as we watch First Gear Racing and the Gen 6 Cup Cars tonight. We'll be back next Saturday in the Gen 6 Cup Cars at Michigan. Like I was saying, our next broadcast will be Monday night in the Indy Cars, as I believe it is Dover we are going to for our final week of the preseason in the Indy Cars. So stay tuned, and we'll see you on track again Monday night. Daniel, any parting thoughts before we cut off the air for tonight?
So what you're saying is the key word is throttle control.
Yes, sir. There it is. I knew it was going to come in at least one more time. Guys, just remember throttle control and the ticker. We're going to get that built up. I'm going to find a way to keep count for Daniel on throttle control because that's the main thing that we're going to take from that tonight. And thanks to Daniel for coming in the booth tonight and hanging out with me and hanging out with all of us here. And great. Appreciate you coming in and joining us. And we'll be back on track soon enough. Hopefully next week. Edwin's on a cruise, enjoying life for the next 5 days. So I don't know if he'll be back and available for next Saturday's race. So I might be back in the booth. If not, he'll be here and I'll be on track. So I'll see you one way or another. And thank you all again for watching. Y'all have a great night. And we are out.